If you've ever asked, who created God? You're asking wrong. Not because the question is offensive, but because it misses the point entirely. It's like trying to measure the wind with a ruler. You're using the wrong tool, and you'll walk away thinking there's no answer, when in fact the answer is far bigger than you imagined. Our humans struggle with beginnings. Every single thing we know had a beginning. You were born. The sun rose. That building you're in was once a thought in someone's mind. So it feels logical, even necessary to ask, if God created everything, then who created God? But that's where we trip, because what we're really doing is dragging God into our limited human framework, a framework built entirely on time, cause, and effect. But God doesn't live inside that framework. He built it. The Bible doesn't try to prove God exists with scientific formulas. It assumes his existence because everything that begins with him. Genesis 1:1 doesn't ask who made God. It says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. In the beginning of time, God already was. The category mistake. Asking who made God is like asking how much does love weigh? It's the wrong category. God isn't in time. He's outside of it. He's not affected by seconds or centuries. He's not young or old. He's not becoming. He simply is. Psalm 92 puts it like this. Before the mountains were born, or you brought forth the whole world, from everlasting to everlasting, you are God. Not became God. Not was made God. Not even started as God. From everlasting to everlasting. He is. Why this matters real life. Now maybe you're thinking, okay, fine. But what does that actually mean for me? It means everything. Because if God had a beginning, that means he came from something else. And he could be overthrown. He could fade, change, break his promise, run out of power. But an eternal God, a God who has no source because he is the source, that kind of God can't be bought, can't be blackmailed, can't be broken. And that is the kind of God you can trust with your fears, your future, your soul. He isn't reacting to your life in real time. He already knows the end from the beginning because he doesn't live in time. He holds time in his hands. What the Bible actually says. Exodus 3:14 is one of the most mysterious and majestic verses in all of Scripture. When Moses asks God, "What should I call you?" God replies, "I am who I am." He doesn't say, "I was created by," or "I began when." He says, "I am." That's a declaration of eternal presence, not stuck in the past or waiting in the future. Always present, always true. It's not just a name, it's a reality. Everything that exists depends on something else to keep going. Electricity, oxygen, the beating of a heart. But God, he depends on no one. He exists because he exists. That's power. That's stability. Now, if this is blowing your mind a little, that's good. That's what we do here. At Book of Life Lessons, we don't just explain verses. We unlock the hidden wisdom behind them, so you can live with confidence, clarity, and conviction. Tap that subscribe button now, because your faith isn't about memorizing lines. It's about understanding truth deeply, so you can stand firmly. Where the question comes from. But let's be honest, most people don't ask, who created God? Because they want to understand metaphysics. They ask because something inside them feels disconnected. Like if they could crack the origin of God, maybe then life would make sense. Maybe they've been hurt by religion. Maybe they've watched the world fall apart and thought, if God is real, he must have come from somewhere. And maybe that somewhere explains why he feels so distant. But here's the truth. God isn't distant. He's different. He's not man-made, like idols shaped in our image. He's not another piece of the puzzle. He's the table the puzzle sits on. A personal moment. A young woman once emailed our channel. She had just lost her father and was furious with God. She wrote, "If God is real, where did he come from? And why doesn't he show up when I cry out?" We talked, we shared scripture. And slowly, she began to see. God's silence doesn't mean absence. His eternity doesn't mean indifference. In fact, it's because he never began, that he never leaves. She told me later, "I thought I needed answers about his beginning. What I really needed was to know he'd be with me through my ending." So yes, people walk away from faith, not because there are no answers, but because no one ever taught them to ask better questions. The question isn't, who created God? The real question is, what happens to me if he really is eternal? Because if he is, then his love is unstoppable, his judgment is unavoidable, and his presence is undeniable. So what's the answer? Who created God? No one. He was never created. And that's not a cop-out. That's a cornerstone. It's the bedrock of why you can trust him when everything else is shaking, when your job fails, when your relationships fall apart, when the world gets dark. You can hold on to the one who never began, because he'll never end. Bonus truth. If God had a beginning, he could have an end. But since he never began, he will never stop being for you. Let's talk below. What's one thing you now understand about God that you didn't before? That one insight could change someone's life. Like this video. Share it with someone who's asking the big questions. And subscribe to Book of Life Lessons, because the Bible isn't a book of rules. It's a book of rescue. Your journey to truth continues right here.